We've now sat down with Mikel Arteta to throw a few quick fire questions at you.
Okay.
So, team supported as a boy?
Barcelona.
Okay. Earliest football memory?
Playing on the beach in San Sebastian in my city when we used to play against every school, and it was something very, very special.
Pre-match meal?
Chicken and rice.
Oh, okay.
Very basic.
And as a manager?
Sometimes nothing. Depending on what time we play, I don't like eating too much before the games.
Toughest opponent?
I would say one of them, Liverpool at Anfield.
Okay. Which player? An individual?
Probably I would have to pick Thierry Henry. When I played against him,
Everyone picks Thierry Henry.
I was at Everton, and it's one of those players where you felt that he was so superior to the rest that he could completely dominate the game. Favorite
game as a player?
I would have to say my debut for PSG is the moment that you realize that a dream has come true, and you put a professional shirt. I was next to Ronaldinho, Kocha, all those incredible players around me. But then you soon realize that it's just a start, and maintaining and being at that level is going to be tough.
You mentioned playing in Paris, and you've played all around the world. Your favourite derby?
Now that I'm here, I have to say that the North London derby, but the one that probably has surprised me more, or I was really impressed with, it was the Old Firm derby when I was in Glasgow. Mm.
What was it like up at Rangers? Must have been a real culture shock.
It was, first of all, I thought I was quite a good student. I thought my English was pretty good, but when I arrived to Glasgow, I realized that that was a different language almost. But I was so lucky they welcomed me so well and in a really special way. It's a special people, and I'm so grateful. I think he helped me so much for my transition to play in the Premier League, and we had some great moments there.
Well, that must have made you ready to come to Liverpool then, if you were finding it hard to understand people in Glasgow.
Absolutely, but I had a Scottish manager on David Moyes as well, so that transition again helped, because David is again someone really demanding with a very strong character and a special language. But I learned a lot from him, and again he made me a better player. He really protected me, he challenged me, and we had some great times together.
Well, that's where we know each other, in terms of on the pitch, would have been in Merseyside derbies. What was your feeling about a Merseyside derby? I grew up with them as a child, played in them. What was your feeling? Well,
our history when I was there, before that, it wasn't great, because we used to lose a lot of games, unfortunately, against you guys. You guys were one of the top teams in Europe at the time. You had a phenomenal team, and we were at a different level, but for many years we were able to compete, to beat you a few times as well, which it was special, but it was just phenomenal. The atmosphere around the city and the passion that place has is just phenomenal.
Watching you in the documentary, you mentioned about maybe team talk, some of your managerial techniques, before games, after games as well. Can you explain any of them and sort of what your style is and how you go about it?
Honestly, it's just the gut feeling. I think you have to be very aware of what is the temperature in the team, what the team needs, what the team is demanding, how can you really influence, how can you give them comfort, how we can touch them emotionally. I think a team is just energy. That year, I think Arsenal or those players needed certain way of me doing things. This year is different. And I'm doing other things that I think that are better for the players. But I think it has to be genuine, and it has to be spontaneous, and it has to be especially what do the players need. That's the biggest question.
When you speak to managers, certainly in their early years, they speak about influences of other managers and things that they've picked up. Who's really sort of been a big driver of that?
The idea on the pitch, for sure, it was Johan Cruyff and what he said in Barcelona, and what I was taught when I was in Barcelona. Then every manager that I had, I learned so much. Sometimes about dealing with the people, how caring they were, how protective they were. Others that in difficult moments, how they have acted, individually or collectively with the team. with Arsene for the opportunity that he gave me here and the way he could understand the game and his philosophy of working and teaching as well. And for sure Pep, because he's been the biggest influence in my football career as a player, as a manager, and for the opportunity that he gave me to work with him in a new role and in a new way of understanding the game probably.
What would you say from working with Pep, obviously being around Johan Cruyff and in that style of play, where does Pep taken that style as well? Has he evolved it? Is it exactly the same? Is it?
No, I think he evolved it and he tweaked it and he gave that style of that way of understanding the game many more tools. And that's the secret of it. It's great to get some things from other managers or even to copy, but you cannot copy and paste. It doesn't work, unfortunately. And this is just the start. And for me, was all the principles and fundamentals that I believed in were based on my experience as a player and the experience that I had as a coach, especially with Pep. But now you have to evolve from them. And in my opinion, other sports right now are really changing my way of understanding the game. I
do feel like Pep almost changed football. Mm-hmm. Again, when he sort of that Barcelona team came about. Do you agree with that?
I totally agree with that, because he probably had the same purpose, but in a totally different way. That it was more attractive, was more enjoyable and more fun, especially for players and everybody that was watching it. But if you ask Pep, he would say that he is the most defensive manager in the world. He would say that.
Why?
Because he is, but in a certain way, the way he wants to control the game and wants to have the ball, because he doesn't like conceding any chances or any goals, because obviously the chance of winning the game will be there. But it's very different to many other managers or other very successful people that have managed to win in the game.
You're talking about being ahead of the game, and I just wondered whether, as a coach, you look for inspiration from other sports as well and other coaches in different sports.
I love that, and I'm involved in groups where we discuss with other top elite managers that they are in the NFL, in the NBA, in Australian cricket, in big companies around the world, and to understand the processes, why they made decisions, how they made decisions, how they plan, how they face success or failure, or how they measure success or failure. And there are voices that, for me, are really, really important. I think we have to be constantly educating ourselves and looking for quick wins and things that we can gather from many other industries as well. And we have a lot of opportunities nowadays with everything that we have in our hands, and we cannot waste that.
How would you measure success or failure this season for Arsenal?
I'm proud of what we are doing. I think we are in a good place, but we have to take it day by day. For me, it's the secret. Our team is what we do every single day, to maintain certain levels and to improve in our weaknesses and have the right energy. I think a team is just a big ball of energy that has to drive through a long period during 10 months, and that takes a lot of skill to manage that.
There must be a real excitement within the club about what this second half of the season can bring.
It is, because it's not just a feeling, it's as well facts and stats that are supporting that the team is deserving to win games, which is especially my job. I want the team to play in a certain way. My job is to, do we merit to win the game? Yes or no? And the more consistent we are on that, more football games we are going to win. Unfortunately, in football, you can shoot 30 times and concede one shot and you can lose 1-0. But I think in the long run, you're going to be where you deserve to be, and we have the confidence that we are in the right path, but as well we have all the red lights and alarm there, because what is coming in the second part of the season is something unprecedented, and we need to be ready for it.
Does it feel like this is a real opportunity?
The focus, something is to have a plan, but the focus is today. The only focus that we have is today. What do we do today to impact how it's going to be tomorrow? And there is excitement, and we should be excited, and we should be embracing the opportunity that we have ahead of us, understanding that we have to do much better a lot of things that we are already doing really well.